Hello and welcome. Welcome to my home and welcome to my sacred space that I prepared for us today. Friends and family and new subscribers and old. I really appreciate every one of you that comes here, whether it be intermittently, once a week, every day. I love the interaction. I'm Olivia, and this is Tarot and Coffee with Olivia, here to do your daily pick a card, and we are going to pick our Thought of the Day from the Wild Unknown Archetypes by Krans. It's a great deck. It's really beautiful. The artist has quite a lot of talent. I'm shuffling them face up so that you can see an example of some of her artwork. Okay. Let's go ahead and shuffle just a little bit more. I can't do hard shuffles on the tables with these cards. Okay, let's go ahead and cut the deck. We'll take from the top this time. And we have the village. The village. Alright, so it is a thought of the day. It is the Krans Unknown Archetype deck. And the thing about Krans is that she has her little book that we can look up the cards in. So we're going to look up the village. And I brought my glasses today, so I remembered. So hopefully we'll be able to do this. And that must be in the places. The village, 145. And really with her decks, they're so, well, esoteric. That I just like to read from the book rather than try to interpret or pontificate on it myself. So here's the village. Okay, and if you've never done this before, you can go ahead and skip ahead to your timestamp if you just want to know your card of the day. But this is an important part of your card also, of your reading today. The village presents us with a conundrum. On one hand, it's the place that feels most like home, the place to which you can always return. Nostalgia and comfort draw us back. But on the other hand, it's the very place you must leave in order to grow. Around the village, an unspoken boundary exists, one most villagers do not want you to cross. Though some support you leaving, still, you hear whispers of doubt as you venture beyond its borders. Leaving them behind, the energy of the village is present any time we feel restricted by a certain group, community, family, place, or ideology. It may have served us in the past, yet staying within its parameters will never satiate our thirst for life. Thank the village for all it has provided, knowing you will someday return. For now, the world awaits. So again, like I said, I'm not going to really pontificate on that or try to interpret it further. If you'd like to hear that again, I'm sure you can rewind the video if you were not able to quite get it all. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and get started. Let's see, what have I not said? If you've never done a pick a card, just follow along with the video. You can pick one card or you can do it any other way that you want. People do it all different ways. Some people just leave it on in the background, this video, and that's fine. I love it. I love it. I really do love. If you want, give me a thumbs up. I love that very much. Thumbs down too. I don't hate those, but I really enjoy comments, and I really thank those of you who have been commenting, because it really does help me feel like this is more than a one-way interaction. Although I feel that way anyway. I do feel like I'm communicating and that I'm getting things back from you guys, and I really appreciate that. So let's look at the card toppers. The card toppers are what you're going to use to pick your card. And we have, this is a, from what I understand, it is a form of selenite. But we're going to call it a green heart. And then we have, this is rose selenite. And then we have, this is just a, I don't know what a tiger eye. I use it as a worry stone, or just to have in your pocket. Sometimes, well, I used to work with the public, and it was always nice to have a little something in my pocket to hold on to if I was feeling it, but also they were fun gifts to give little kids, Okay, let's go ahead and look at this. This is also selenite, and those are our card toppers. So if you need more time to figure out the cards you would like to choose, you can take your time. Go ahead. I'm going to have a little sip of coffee, and then if you need more time, then you can go ahead and pause the video and take all the time that you need. Yum, yum. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and we will start with the green heart, and we're going to see what your card has for you today. And what card is it? Illusion. This deck has named this card Illusion. It's actually known as the Moon card in other decks. And I really like the idea of the Moon card better. This particular book, the interpretation of this card is very negative. And I don't find the Moon to be as negative a force as the interpretation. This tarot is called Tarot of the Old Path. And I usually like their interpretations a lot. But with this, I think I'm going to change it up a little bit to more of my understanding, and that is we have a lot going on here. Okay, the moon does talk about illusion because of the dark side of the moon, but we're going to look at that a little bit more thoroughly here. So the crayfish talks about early consciousness and growth, but also ancient wisdom. These creatures, we don't even know how old they can get. We just keep finding older ones and older ones. And I find that to be very interesting. Also, I want you to see this honeysuckle down here. It stands for inconsistency. I almost said inconstancy. I think that used to be something people said, but not anymore. I could be wrong. Maybe it's just a word I used to say. And don't anymore. But the moon is cyclical. And when I think of the moon being cyclical, cycling through, I think about how it affects our bodies. Because if the moon can affect the ocean waves the way that it does, the tides, then certainly it affects our bodies, which are made of mostly water. And as women, we know we feel it very profoundly once a month during certain times of our lives. So I think men can feel it too when they're tuned in. So what is this card about? What does it have to do with you? It has to do with feelings. And I have a few things that are very specific that I want to say. So this might not resonate with all of you. It might just resonate with one or a few of you. But it needed to come through. So I'm going to go ahead and say it. The greatest feelings in the final matters of life are realities that need to be lived just as much as anything else. Make peace with God in your world. Open your heart. Cast off your awkwardness in such matters of spirituality and of the soul. So oftentimes what I think, and that's your special message to a few of you, having to do with end of life matters. And when I talk about things that are really deep like this and sometimes a little dark or maybe even a little frightening, I want you to know that you can contact me. My information is in the description of this video. That's just below the video. So you can go down and you can contact me and we can talk about this if this is something that is bothering you. So one of the main things I want to talk about with this card too, and this may resonate with some of you and not all, is seasonal depression. And that is something, and it's not just something that comes, it's not just about the seasons. It's oftentimes we have depression centered around something that's happened in our life during a certain time in our life, and every time that date comes around, we feel those feelings again, and sometimes we're not even realizing what's going on. So be aware of that. Don't be afraid of the dark side of the moon, because that's you. This is all about you and your consciousness. So it's, unless you're afraid of your subconscious, which I have been before in my life, it shouldn't be a terribly scary thing. Okay, that was something. All right, let's go ahead and see what's under the rose selenite. Let's see what we have here. The Two of Swords. I really like this card. I think I've told y'all before that whenever I see this card, my nickname for it is Battlefield of the Mind. Because it's not really about physical battle, because the swords are all about the mind, all about decisions and things of that sort. I think I'm going to have to turn the page in my notes because I wrote a lot about the moon over there. Okay, so I'm just going to say some words that are descriptive words for this card. Stalemate, indecision, banter, sparring, sounding board with the devil's advocate, an argument, or the act of making a choice within one's self. Failing to understand or grasp any given situation. But also, what I really like to think about this card is preparation or practice to see things, to sharpen your mind. So this really could be a friendly banter with an old friend, or it could be an argument with oneself. Basically, it's about making choices and about honing your mind in order to make the best choices. And by honing the mind, we can mean a lot of things. We can mean study. It can mean talking with others. It can also mean sourcing your information. When you get information out there, properly sourcing it, knowing where it came from, knowing what's really going on. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So if this is your card today, it looks like you need to hone your mind, practice some decision making. You may have a decision that you need to that you need to have ready for Monday. You may need to be thinking things over. Let's look and see what's under the tiger eye. Yeah. Oh, there he is. Look at that. The Knight of Pentacles. So I must say that if you have been doing these readings with me consistently, if you keep getting the same card or over and over again, it's because that's something that you really need to listen to. Or it's an ongoing situation as well. So there he is. He is, let me just describe him to you here for a minute, because he's a pacifist. He loathes violence, though he is trained. He does have weapons, and he has been trained to use them. He is a knight after all. And while I'm sure he's been on quests like many knights do, he really kind of stands for like education for career sometimes. He also is a knight that he's into science, he's into art, he's conservative in the way of recycling is conservative. So in other words, nothing gets wasted with this person. So the direction that you have with this card today is, this is you. Especially if you've gotten this card time and again, I would say this card is either you or someone very close to you. And what you need to remember when you see this card, let's just put it this way, this is your daily read on this card today, is you can't change others, but you can accept them in a way that allows their abilities to shine. So as a knight, I often think of knights as public servants. And so oftentimes you are in a place of leadership working with other people. Just remember, you can't change people, but it is a very nice thing to recognize people for who they are in their greatest abilities. That's where we're going with that. And while you're at it, let your abilities shine as well. A knight is a good and wonderful thing to be. Now we're looking under the last, the Selenite, and we have the beautiful, the lovely Nine of Pentacles. Now what's really interesting to me about this card is very often when I'm doing readings for other people, when I'm doing private readings, when someone asks, what is he thinking about, when a woman usually asks, what is he thinking about me? How does he feel about me? How does he see me? This card often comes up. And for that reason, I've nicknamed this card the Keeper, because when she comes up, the way that he thinks about her is someone who is refined, someone who is worthy, someone who is worthy of putting on a pedestal, someone that they admire, someone who is put together well, someone who enjoys the nice things that she has around her, that she's possibly provided for herself. Here's the ironic, I don't know if ironic is the right word. This card also comes up for a woman or for a female energy. Sometimes there are a lot of men that have female energy. We all do, actually. I know I don't present as a man, but sometimes no. So basically, the opposite sometimes comes up, and that is that there she is alone without a lover. And the really neat thing about it, I know it sounds really sad, but the really neat thing about this card is she gives herself what she needs. She provides for herself, and she loves herself. She loves herself like a lover would love her, like she wants to be loved. What does she want? She can give that all to herself. And the reason I'm mentioning both of these meanings is that's the way it happens. When someone is yearning and pining for a relationship, it won't happen. It doesn't happen. Sometimes it does, and then it turns sour. When you provide love for yourself, and when you get comfortable in providing for yourself even love, that's when you get looked at as, that's a keeper. That's when they come. That's how it happens. I tell this story all the time. This card is the embodiment of that story. So, what am I saying? I'm saying if you're looking for love, look within. It's as simple as that, and it is one of the most difficult things to learn. But once you get there, man, it's a nice place to be. I can tell you that much. So here we are. We're at sadly, here I'm going to put this right here, the Village. I'd never pulled that card before, so that was kind of fun to get that card today. Here we are at the end. I really do appreciate you guys being here. Please subscribe It's really fun seeing all you guys, my new subscribers. I love it. I love it. I love it. Um, so do take what resonates with you and leave the rest, and don't make life altering decisions or changes based on this or any other tarot pick a card. But do connect with me on my social medias linked below, and book with me on my website or on my Keen for a personal, more detailed reading. I'm actually thinking about going full on with Keen in the future. So if you're interested in booking with me with my own personal tarot reading business, which is a little bit different than how we do it on Keen, do it now, because like I said, I'm getting ready to go full on Keen and have my own business be among family and friends. So if you want to get in there now. Hit up my website. I am a little less expensive on my website than I am on Keen too, so keep that. And now I've said too much, but I really enjoy being here with you. So I am going to sign off now, and I'll remind myself that I will see you tomorrow. Thank you guys.